We will chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Om. Om Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Samasta Jana Kalyani Niratam Karunamayam Nama Chinmayam Devam Sadgurum Brahma Vishwaram. Everyone, we have kind of like a much smaller attendance today. So, what we are we are covering Gita chapter 2, right? So here we are talking about the in last session we were talking about the shloka Najayate mriyate va kadachit nayam bhutva abhibhutva va na bhuyah ajo nitya shashvatoyam purana na hanyate hanyamane sharire. So here in the shloka, what happened is that the nature of Atman was being described. And when the nature of Atma was described, it is described in such a way saying that na jayate, jayate meaning there's no birth, and na mriyate meaning there's no death, and na ayam bhutva means there is no manifestation either. Okay, so that means that in this case, all the Shadvikaras are the six changes, modifications our typical body goes through, which is the birth and temporary existence, growth, mature modifications, and decay and death. Okay, so what calls jayate, asti, vardhate, viparinamate, apakshiyate, and vinashyate. So these six are not there for Atma. That was part of it. And then it also has given another area, which is this confirmed not only in negative terms, but also confirmed in the positive terms. That is, it is ajaha. Self is ajaha means it is birthless. Okay. And nityaha. Nityaha means again, it means that it is forever. Forever means deathlessness is, death is also negated. Shashwataha, meaning like, so nityaha also means sometimes it is changeless also, because once there is change, you cannot, whereas shashwataha means it is deathless. And I am purana, meaning like beginningless. Okay. And it also said, na hanyate hanyamane sharire, means it is just unlike the Sharira, it can neither kill nor be killed. So that means that it is different from Sharira. Now, when we say Sharira, body, we know that we have body in three bodies, right? Sthula, Sukshma, and Karana. So Sthula means physical body, Sukshma means the subtle body, and Karana means the causal body. It is different from all of these three. That's what I was describing that. In the next sloka, it also said, Veda vinashinam nityam, ye enam ajam avyayam, katam sapurusha partha, kam ghatayati hantikim. Okay. So one who understands the nature of this Atman, okay, who does he kill and how does he kill? How can he kill someone? So in this case, what happened is that the who does he kill means he cannot kill. How does he kill means he cannot make someone kill. He cannot be killed. Okay, so that means that karta, karana, karma, all of them are denied. So that means that because I am my real self, I am neither karta nor bhokta. Okay, so those are defined in the previous shlokas. Any questions so far based on our review? So now,
you said karta, karma, and you said karma means instrument, right?
right, karta, karma, and karaka. Karaka means instigator.
Karta is instigator or instrument? Oh,
Karta is a doer
yes,
or subject. Karma
yes,
is object or the one who is experiencing, right? Or
yeah,
in this case, you can also say bhokta also.
yeah.
And then karaka is the third one. Karaka means he is the uh, cause of action. Okay, so even though he is not the actor, he is the cause for the action that has been done. So that means that he's the how do we say?
Instigator is the right word. I understand that. It's just
Sorry?
like me. Instigator is the proper word. It's like
Right.
me asking somebody to go, "Hey, go kill." So I'm
Right.
not an instigator or an instructor or
Yeah.
instrument for that matter. But
Right.
I'm the one who
Mhm.
does the killing, karta, or karma, or the getting killed means bhokta.
Yeah.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
So we will start with verse number 22. Does anyone want to chant after me?
I will try.
Okay, Chanji. So we'll be chanting verse number 22. Okay. Uh, I will first read the words individually, and then we will chant. Okay. Vasamsi जीर्णानि यथा विहाय नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान् अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि. Okay, these are the words. वासांसि जीर्णानि यथा विहाय
Vaswami jiranya yatha viyaya.
नवानि गृह्णाति नरोपराणि
Avani gritani naro.
नरोपराणि
तथा शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्.
Tatha shira.
शरीराणि विहाय जीर्णान्.
Shobhaji, can you go on mute? Just
Oh,
thank
I'm
you. Okay. अन्यानि संयाति नवानि देहि.
Ananya samayati navani dehi.
So this is a very famous shloka, and it's a very common example that we already heard so many times. So this is a so it says yatha naraha, meaning just like a man. Okay, so this essence is that just like a man casts off the used cloth, or like like old clothes, and wears new clothes. In the same way, the body also, I mean, like the jiva also is going to drop off the old body and picks up new body. Okay, so that's the essence, right? So it says yatha naraha, just like a man, just like any person. Here, naraha doesn't mean a man, right? Naraha means anyone who is a human being. Okay, so jirnani, meaning like old and tattered, meaning like those they are completely, they cannot be reused anymore. Vasamsi means clothes. Vihaya, aparani, meaning like they are going to wear some other clothes. Okay, which ones? Navani, new clothes. Gurunati means they will take. Okay, Tatha, in the same way, Dehi, for the self, Jirnani Sharirani Vihaya, meaning the old tattered body is going to be dropped off, and a new Anyani Sanyati, Anyani Navani Sanyati, meaning another body is taken in this particular case in from a contextually. So now the question is that this is a shloka that we all know. Okay, now the question is that, I mean, like even though we all know this shloka, one of the interesting questions is, what about someone who dies young? Their body is not old.
What was the question?
The question is, what if someone who is young dies? Okay, their body is not old, so why did the body is dropped? Okay, because the shloka is saying only when the body gets old, that's when the
Jirnani, yes.
right, jirnani, it cannot be used anymore. That is when the new body is taken. So this child, or maybe like a 5-year-old child, a 10-year-old child, when he passes away or she passes away, how does the shloka apply that?
I remember they said that this body stays somewhere in the limbo, doesn't seem to go. I don't know what the exact word is. I remember Swamiji saying one day, if somebody dies at a young age, it gets kind of in the somewhere, I don't know where it goes, but it stays somewhere in the middle. I don't know which middle is it.
But according to their karmas, right? Karma and karma phala, they get the life.
So the what I'm going to show tell what I learned, right? Okay, which is similar to what Varshaji is saying, right? Basically, old or new is not based upon the age of the body. Rather, it is based upon the prarabdha. Okay. Now, you probably heard the word prarabdha before. Okay. But let me quickly bring everyone up to speed on this, which is when we perform any action, we are bound to get results and experience those results. Sometimes the experience of the result happened right here, right now. Okay, as soon as we perform the action. The simple example is you go to a coin operating machine and put $1 and press a button and you get your choice of beverage. It is a Coke or water or whatever. Okay, right here, right now. In some cases, the result will come little later. Say, for example, someone who is a smoker, smoked for 30 years and then stopped, but like, after 10 years after he stopped smoking, he may get a lung cancer. Okay, so the result comes later, but within this lifetime. In some cases, it so happens that the circumstances in this lifetime are not conducive to give that result, to get that result. So in that case, that is like put it in a back burner, okay, or in a folder or in something where it is reserved for some other future life. Okay. Now all the karmas, karma phala, all the karma phalas, meaning the results of the actions that we have experienced, that we are yet to experience, they are all called as sanchita karma. Okay? Sanchita karma. Now, I don't know in North Indian languages if a sanchi means anything, but in Telugu, sanchi means a bag. Okay? So imagine a big bag, okay, a big sack where all our future karmas are in there. Okay? Now, what happens is that when a body, now let us say my current body fell off. Okay. Now it is the karma phaladata who is Bhagavan. Karma phaladata means who is the giver of the results. It is up to that Bhagavan who decides what should be done. Okay, so now here, like, okay, imagine this huge gunny sack of karmas are there, and then he took a tumbler and he took some mixed karma phalas that we need to experience. Now this, if of this cup of results that I need to experience, if they're predominantly good, I will get a higher realm, a birth in the higher realm. Okay, like a devata or something like that. If they are predominantly low, like papas or bad results that I need to experience, then I will get a lower form of birth, such as some kind of an animal or a tree or something like that. Okay. If there is a mixture of equal mixture, right, then I will get a human birth. Okay. So now this tumbler or this cup of experiences that I must go through in the new life, for that life it is called as prarabdha karma. So this prarabdha karma is the results of all actions that I have performed in the past that I must experience in this current life. And now imagine there are like 10,000 of them are there. Just a number, right? Okay. So the moment I am born, this is on a what you call like a counter, right? I mean, as in a countdown clock. 9,999, 9,998, like that for each experience, whether good experience or bad experience. The moment that counter hits 0, there is no more purpose of this body. It is done and it will fall off. Now, if the cup size that was taken was small, then the lifespan is small. If the cup that is taken is large, then the lifespan could be large. Okay. So this is what we call as prarabdha karma. Now, unfortunately, what happened is that in the process of experiencing my past result, I may be doing other karmas, meaning other actions for which more and more are being added to this big sack, sanchita karma. So this happens a never-ending cycle. Okay. So this never-ending cycle is what we call as world of transmigration or samsara chakra. Okay. And this samsara chakra we are trying to get out of. Okay. And get moksha. Yes, Atulji, go ahead.
So the question I have is that how do you explain a long life on part of somebody versus a short life, a 5-year-old boy dying? On the other, how do you explain? In other words, was one the 5-year-old boy was born only with a small amount of prarabdha karma that exhausted real fast, and that the one that lives 100 years is a more prarabdha karma that continues the life that's exhausting?
Can you repeat the question? I think I understood the question, but I can you repeat?
So the 5-year-old boy who died was born with smaller number of prarabdha karma versus the person who lived till 100 years was born a larger bag of prarabdha karma.
That is correct.
Now, could that be a blessing in disguise for a young boy who died early, that he exhausted his prarabdha karma and he's moved on to some upper life maybe? Because you were born with the prarabdha karma to exhaust away the sanchit karma that did not fructify in that particular life. So now you're getting another birth, depending on the prarabdha karma, like you said, whether it's a papa punya and a mixture thereof, you get a certain type of birth. Clearly the little boy who was born human had equal amount of papa and punya, but smaller amount of it that he exhausted fast enough, and he passed away. Is this sort of a blessing in disguise that he is?
It doesn't mean that his sanchita karma is small or large. So all it means is that the type of experiences that he can experience in this body, right, are small in quantity. So lesser prarabdha karma is allocated for this body. Okay. So I mean, other day, I think we were talking about this prarabdha karma. I think Maha was the one who was telling me a story that a Jyotishi, or like a Vidwan, okay? A Vidwan had a delivery in the house and a baby is born. Okay? And I mean, this is just a story, but it kind of like to illustrate the point, right? So he knows like both past and future. And what he told his wife is that apply about 2 tablespoons of oil to her head every day until 1 liter of oil can is finished. So wife, not knowingly, she applied that oil, and the day that oil is ran out, the girl died. Okay, so then she obviously the wife is very upset. I mean, felt very sad that the daughter died. But then she asked, "Why did you ask? What is the relationship between that between that liter of oil and this?" And he says that we owed that jiva 1 liter of oil, so she is born to take that. And now that she got it, she has no reason to be in this form anymore. Okay, I mean, this could be a made-up story, but what it is illustrating is that the nature of prarabdha karma, right? So in that lifetime, what are the right amount of experiences you need to undergo? As soon as you have undergone it, is done. That's how the idea is with the prarabdha karma.
Okay, thank you.
So now this is again the same shloka. Interestingly, has comes in Adhyatma Ramayana also, where when Dasharath Maharaja passes away, Bharata was crying, and Sage Vasishtha says the same thing, is that never ever feel that he explains in the same way, the same example. Okay, the same cloth example, different set of words, but same cloth example. And he says that whether the person is older than us or younger than us, when they pass away, nothing to feel about, nothing to feel good about it or sad about it, because their prarabdha is complete and then they have gone. There is nothing to be concerned about it. That's what Sage Vasishtha tells Bharata in Adhyatma Ramayana.
I think I remember I've been reading this recently. He uses two words. It's all right to feel sad, but not the grief. You should not feel grief about the loss of your father, but it's all right to feel sadness. Not a permanent sadness, but the sadness that you're experiencing is okay, but please don't feel grief about it.
Yeah. So the same idea is there even in our, I mean, like even from a, what is the term? Even from our religious rights perspective also, there is a particular time is allocated for, we call it a sadness or grief. And then when there is in some cultures, we do like 11th day, some cultures 15th day, 19th day, whatever, right? And that is when you call everyone and give a big meal, and that is the day we are supposed to celebrate the achievements of the person who passed away, and thank for that person's presence in our life during his period on earth, and then move on. So that's until then, usually like cooking is not, people because they are grieving, cooking is not, I mean, like it's not like cooking is not allowed. It is just that because they are in grief and they're not cooking or anything like that, usually friends and neighbors and like family, like extended family and neighbors, etc., they bring the food to the family, right? The grieving family. So this is a typical thing that is said. But unfortunately, even though the scriptures say that, okay, get over it in 15 days time or 11 days time, whatever, sometimes depending on how close that person is, the process takes longer time. Okay. So yeah, so this is I mean, like this is a primary thing is that this prarabdha karma is one part, and also understand that the other side is that this body again, like even when we have our own car, right? Once it hits 100k miles or 150k miles, we want to replace it for better comfort. Okay, so similarly, this body is made up of Panchamahabhutas, and it is subject to degradation based on the quality, and there is no reason for the jiva to suffer in that body for long term, and when it is right time, get a new body to go to the next step. Right? So these are the couple of things that are discussed in regarding this. Okay.
The only argument or the point I would like to present here is that if you have a journey to spiritual life, and you could be 95 years old, and you could just be a year away from getting that gnanam, achieving Brahmanistha. If you drop the body at 95, what's the guarantee that you'll continue with your journey? And so would it be better to just leave a few more years and finish up the journey than drop the body and then hopefully you'll continue with the journey?
So I mean, Atulji, you must have read Gita so many times before. And I'm pretty sure you remember chapter 6, where Arjuna asks the same question. What happens when someone is very close to getting the jnana and he drops the body? And Bhagavan Krishna's response is that I will ensure that he is born in the next life in the right circumstances, so where he can actually pick up from where he left off.
Yes, yes. Now that you mention, I have not studied Gita many times, I got to admit, but now that you mention it, it does strike me as a recollection. Yes. Thank you.
So the next two slokas are somewhat linked together, verse 23 and 24. We will chant 23 and 24 together and then go through the summary. Okay, so who wants to chant after me?
No, he heard you.
So Vashaji is going to chant?
Yeah.
So I'm going to read these words separately, individually first. Okay. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavakaha, na chainam kledayanti apaha. So the breakdown, right? So that becomes kledayanti apaha. Okay. Na shoshayati marutaha. Okay. So this is the verse 23. And verse 24 is, we need to break down this, right? Achedyoyam, adahyoyam, akledyaha, ashoshya eva cha, nityaha, sarvagataha, sthanuhu, achaloyam, sanatanaha. Okay, so breakdown. Okay. Go through the shloka. Nainam chindanti shastrani.
Nainam chindanti shastrani.
Nainam dahati pavakaha.
Nainam dahati pavakaha.
Nachainam kledayantyaapaha.
Nachainam kledayantya papaha. Antyapaha.
So it is written as kledayantyapo, but if you are breaking down there, it will become paha. Okay? Nachainam kledayantyapaha.
Nachainam kledayantyapaha.
Nashoshayati marutaha.
Nashoshayati marutaha.
So whenever we chant, right? So these shlokas, most of the shlokas are what we call as Anushtup Chanda. Okay. So in the past, they used to chant the entire line in one breath. Okay. However, what we are doing is that we are breaking down into two parts, each line into two parts. When we do that, if at all there is any sandhi, we need to break that sandhi. Okay. So that's why we broke that sandhi as kledayantyapaha. Okay. Now in these two, the nature of Atman is again being described. Okay. So nainam means na enam. Okay. So na enam. Okay. Chindanti shastrani. Okay. So here, chindanti means break down. Okay. Break. Shastrani. Shastrani means weapons. Okay. So here, actually we look at the structure of the shloka, right? There are four parts. Nainam chindanti shastrani, nainam dahati pavaka, nachainam kledayantyapaha, nashoshayati marutaha. Okay. So Marutaha, if you come in the reverse order, Marutaha means air. Okay. Apaha, okay, from second line to first half, okay, means water. Nainam Dahati Pavakaha. Pavakaha means fire. Okay, so air, water, fire. And so what should be the fourth one? What should be the first one?
Weapon.
Weapons.
No. Yeah, but like what should be logically be there? One is air, other is fire, other is water. So what should be the other one?
Space. Or earth.
It should be earth,
Earth, yeah.
right? Earth or space. Okay.
Okay.
So now space is removed because space doesn't hurt anything, anyone, anywhere. Okay. So now that's why. So now, however, now instead it is shastrani is used. Okay. Shastrani means weapons, right? So shastras are made up of earth material. Okay. And now in our we have two two types of weaponry in our Sanskritam. Okay, one is called Shastra, other is called Astra. Okay, so Astra means something that is thrown. Okay, and it doesn't, so which means like, for example, an arrow in olden days. Okay, so in current environment, maybe a bullet that is fired or a missile that is fired. Those are all called astras. And shastra means that is that one which is held. Okay, so that means like think about like a sword in the olden days or maybe a gun or whatever in current day. Okay. So now this shastra, the name shastra comes as one that is cut. Okay. One that is cut is called a shastra. Oh, then that means that sword? No. Anything that can cut is shastra. So cut here doesn't mean the physical cut, but that means that which is causing dissociation, as in like making something into parts. Okay. Now this shastra is made up of earth. Okay, so that is why instead of Prithvi, it is said Shastra. Now, Shastra cannot destroy this Atma. Okay, means Prithvi or the earth has no effect on self. Now, why can't earth or Prithvi or Shastra destroy Atma? That's the question. Okay. Now, for anything to be destroyed with some external force, there should be like the object. So, for example, I have this pen. Okay. So, even though it is not a Shastra, if I actually take a hammer and hit it, it becomes into pieces and the pen is destroyed. For this pen to be destroyed, what should have is a pen must have parts, and a holistic pen is broken into multiple parts. Okay. Now, Atma doesn't have any parts. Okay. Because Atma doesn't have any parts, earth cannot destroy Atma. Okay. So now think about this, right? Even though it is a complete, it's not the best analogy. Okay. If I take a hammer and hit this pen will break. But if I take hammer and hit in the water, okay, just the water, okay, water also apparently doesn't have any parts. Okay, so water is not destroyed. Okay, so in the same way, Atma also cannot be destroyed by Prithvi or Shastra. So because why? Atma, what we say is that Atma Niravayatva means avayavas. Avayavas means body parts or parts. Nira avayavaya. Nira avayava means there are no body, there are no parts. Okay, so that is why the earth cannot destroy the self. Then the second portion of the first line says, Nainam dahati pavakaha. Okay, so now pavaka means Agni. Okay, pavaka means Agni means fire. Now, how does fire destroy anything? Fire destroys by taking away the water through a very harsh action so fast that the object becomes ashes. Okay, so this process is what we call as dahana, or being fired. Now, so the self doesn't have any water in it to be absorbed by fire. Okay, because self doesn't have any water to be absorbed by fire, it cannot burn. Okay, fire cannot burn the self. Then the third part is na cha enam. Cha means and, right? So na cha enam kledayanti apaha. Okay, apaha means water. Now, water also can destroy objects. The way water destroys the objects is that it wets and moists the object. And once it is wet and moist, it slowly loosens up the parts and destroys the object. It disintegrates. Basically, the object disintegrates in water after a long time. Okay. So, this is what we call as kledayanti, means destruction from moisture. Okay. Again, to disintegrate, the self should have parts. Okay. And again, what we said is that self doesn't have any parts. So again, that cannot destroy also. Then, na shoshayati marutaha. Now, air also can destroy something by taking away the water. But in this case, fire versus water is fire takes the water so fast and it has a different set of reaction, whereas air takes water slowly, so it has a different reaction. Now think about it. A green leaf, okay, like a luscious green leaf. Now, if you try to fire it, put in fire, unless the fire is like really big fire, it doesn't have much impact. But now the same green leaf, if it is dried, how did it become dry? Because the air has absorbed all the water, taken the water away from it. Once the air is taken away, now it burns very fast. Okay, even without burning, also if the air is completely taken out, the green leaf can, the dry leaf can actually become powdery very fast. Okay, so this is what this one, right? Now, another important thing, another interesting thing is that if you remember the process of creation, the sequence of creation, the very first element that has come is
Space.
Space. From space came
Air.
Air to
Fire.
fire to
And then earth.
water to earth. Now, so that means that think about these are like all like 5 brothers. Now, these 4 cannot do anything to space. No matter how much burning happens, how much flooding happens, how much air, okay, whatever, right? So, no matter what happens, can they destroy space? These 4 elements cannot destroy space. Now, this space itself has come from Maya, which is under the control of Brahman. So how can they touch Brahman? Okay, so that is the understanding. Okay, so now remember, like I said, the this current shloka and the next shloka are related. Okay. So here, the nature of self is described as the first line. If you see, it is like a huge syllable mess or alphabet mess you can call. Okay, but there are 4 words in it. Okay, the first word is achedya. Achedya. Okay, or achedyam. Second word is adahyam. Third one is akledyam. Fourth one is ashoshyam. Okay, so these are the 4 words that are there. Okay, achedya means that cannot be cut. Okay, now because it cannot be cut because there are no parts. So now this corresponds to the previous verse, the first part of the previous verse. Nainam chinnanti shastrani. Why? Shastras cannot cut because there are no parts, and hence it is achedya, it cannot be cut. Okay. Now here we need to understand cause and effect carefully. Okay. Because it cannot be cut, we cannot say it is achedya. No. Because it is achedya, it cannot be cut. Why is it important is, today we don't have a means to cut, but tomorrow we invent a special means to cut. Now using that means, can we cut Atma? Okay, so maybe like today's weapons have particular limitation. Tomorrow, like we are doing these guided missiles and all of those, like smart bombs or whatnot, right? So tomorrow, can we do something better? And because of that, can we cut space or cut Atma? No. The idea is that because this is uncuttable, okay, and this is it cannot be disintegrated. That is why in the previous shloka it said Nainam Chindanti Shastrani. Similarly, self is Adahya. Okay, meaning it cannot be burnt. As a result, Nainam Dahati Pavakaha. So fire cannot burn it. Self is Akletyaha, meaning it cannot be wet. Okay. So if it cannot be wet, what can water do?
Cannot be dried.
Okay, so yeah, and Ashosyaha means it cannot be dried up. So what can Maruta, meaning wind, fire, air can do? Nashoshayati Maruta. So now, obviously space is not going to destroy, so that's why 5th one is not taken. Now, not only individually they cannot destroy, but collectively also they cannot destroy Atma. Okay. Then, what is so here, in our Shastras, whenever we talk about self, we talk both in terms of negative and positive, meaning negative definition and positive definition, meaning what it is not and what it is. Okay. So in this first line, the nature of self is described as Achedya, Dahya, Kledya, Ashosya, means it is described in the form of what cannot be done to self. Now, what is the self is described in the second line. Okay, so here in the second line, again, there are 5 words. Nityaha, Sarvagataha, Sthanuhu, Achalaha, Sanatanaha. Okay, so these are the 5 words that are used. Okay, so these 5 keywords are they describe the nature, they are describing the nature of self. Okay, now these 5 words are put in 3 categories. Okay, and they are describing the Sat Vastu of the nature of Sat. of Atma. You know, like when we say Atma is Sat Chit Ananda, right? That's what we say. Okay. So how do we define Sat?
Existence, consciousness, bliss. That's a Satchitana.
Right. So Sat is existence, Chit is consciousness, and bliss is
Yeah.
Ananda. But now, how do we define Sat aspect itself? What is Sat?
It is permanent, changeless, and it is everlasting. No change.
So it is defined in one is that it is beyond time, permanent meaning like it is beyond time. Time has no impact. So it was there before the time. It was in past, it is there now, it will be in future, and it will be there beyond time again. Okay. So that is what we call as beyond time. Then it is also beyond space. So that means that it is all pervading. It is not like, oh, it is there only here and not in there. Okay, so it is both in Andover, Massachusetts, and Florida. Okay, all over the earth, all over this world, all over the universe. Okay, no, it is all pervading. Then the other thing is that what we call as Desha, Kala, Vastu, Parichinna. This is what we say. So this Vastu Parichinna, Vastu means that it is in and through all objects. Okay, so what we say is that in our mind or something like that, when you see this, you know that it is a pen, right? Our mind right now is occupied with the concept of pen. Now, when I remove this and when I bring in a different object, now that pen is gone, and in its place, the phone has come. Okay, but Sat is, so that means what happened is that it is one object is negating the other object. Okay, so now whereas Sat, what it is saying is that it is there in and through every object. So whether you say pen, Sat is in there. Whether you say phone, Sat is in there. Okay, so that's what. Okay, so this is what we call as this Sat is defined as Desha, Kala, Vastu, Parichinna. It is beyond space, beyond time, space, and objects. Now these three aspects are covered in these 5 words that are used: Sanatanaha, Sthanuhu, Nityaha, Sarvagataha, and
Salam.
Achalaha. Okay, so these 5. How? Let's see. Let's first look at time. Okay, beyond time. Okay, Sanatanaha. Sanatanaha means you say like even our Hindu dharma, what we call Sanatana dharma, we say. Sanatana means beginningless. So that means that if there is no beginning, that means that it is beyond time. Okay, so that is one way to look at. Now, that is beginningless. Now the question is that we say Maya also beginningless. Right? But Maya has an end, even though it is beginningless. So now so Maya is also Sanatana. Okay, so now what about Brahman? So here, that is why to
One quick question here. When you say Maya is Sanatana,
Mhm.
but Maya did not exist in Brahman, it was only projected from Brahman, right?
Mhm.
So where does the point come that it is Sanatana? Or
Maya or avidya is beginningless. Okay, the idea that it is beginningless is that what is beginningless? If you think about when an observer has come, okay, and it is observed, then the beginning is known. Okay, when there is no observer, we don't know. Okay, prior to Srishti, Brahman alone existed. Even during Srishti, Brahman alone exists. Okay, even after Srishti, Brahman alone, but Maya is his power. Okay, so Maya is a power within the control of Brahman. Okay, it is an inbuilt power of Brahman is Maya. Okay, and hence it is Sanatana. It is beginningless. Okay, now, however, what happens is that Brahman has no change, but Maya keeps on changing everything. Okay, because of that Maya, I see that the world is changing all the time, and Maya has an end when one attains liberation. Okay, so now what about Brahman? So Brahman is said, Sthanuhu is the word that is used. Okay? Sthanuhu means no change.
Okay.
Okay.
Sthanuhu means no change. Means sthira swabhava. It cannot be changed in present. It cannot be changed in future also. Okay, so that. Now, whereas Sanatana, when we started with the word Sanatana, it can be even Brahman or Maya. The moment we said Sthanu, we are saying that no. We're not referring to Maya. We're only referring to Brahman alone. Then it also says Nityaha. Nityaha is confirming. Why? What is it confirming? Nitya means ever, forever. Forever means again it is transcending time in future. Okay. When we say Sanatana, you are saying beginningless. Whereas Nitya means we are saying endless. Okay. So something that doesn't have beginning means it has no birth. Something doesn't have ending, it has no death. Okay. So this Sanatana, Sthanu, Nitya, again, like Maya is not Nitya. Maya is not Sthanu. Okay, Maya only shares one of these three definitions with Brahman. Okay, or the self. Okay, so Sanatana, Sthanu, Nitya, they all come under the category of beyond time. Okay. Now, so the words that are used, actually, like what I did was that even though Sarvagata comes next, and so they're kind of like this, I reorganized and I'm talking so that like we are packaging in a slightly different order. So I changed the order a little bit. Okay. Then Sarvagataha was actually the second word in the second line. Sarvagataha means it is in and through everything. It is in and it is there in each and every object. It's not like it is in every object, rather every object is in it.
Ah, yes.
Okay. So what we call as Nama Rupa is superimposed and Atma is the substratum. Okay. So here it is like this, right? The example that we give is snake and rope. Okay. So now when we see a snake, it is our superimposition on rope. So where is rope in the snake? Okay. So rope is in and through the snake without touching the snake. Right? Without touching the snake, it is in and through the snake from his head to toe. In fact, you can say that the snake is in the rope as opposed to, okay, rope is in the snake. Okay. So in the same way, Atma, okay, is Sarvagata, means because it is in everywhere, it is in all objects. No matter what object I conceive, Brahman or Atma is already in there. Okay, so that is why it is a Vastu Paricheda. Okay, so we covered Kala and Vastu. Then the next one is Achala. Okay, Achala means actually, if I say some names, maybe you will recognize. Have you heard about Bhadrachalam?
Yes.
Okay, what is Bhadrachalam?
It's a temple in Andhra where Lord Rama's
Mhm. Okay. So
deity is.
right. So the temple is on a hill. Okay. So that temple where uh, the name of the hill is Bhadrachalam. Okay. Now, see, like I only know these names within Andhra, so I'm giving probably other people don't know. Simhachalam is where Swami Narasimha Swami is there. Okay, and then Venkatachalam. Okay, the mountain on which Venkateswara Swami is there. Okay, so like that, I don't know if there are places everywhere else, but now this Achala, so those mountains have these names. Okay, so Achalam means mountains are called Achalam means because they are immovable. They are not moving. Okay. So that is how basically like at least in South, maybe like Shobhaji, do you know any of the hills in Karnataka that are named with Achalam, ending with Chala? Okay, that's fine.
I'm
So,
more Hyderabadi.
okay. So basically, this chalam is used instead of giri, right? Like as in Mahendra Giri or that giri. Giri again is mountain, right?
Hill, mountain, yeah.
So achalam means immovable. Now, in its truest sense, these mountains are moving because Earth itself is moving. Okay, galaxies are moving. Okay, and so as long as any object is finite, it is moving. It is movable. So what is the truly achalam? Like what is it that is truly immovable? Is something that is infinite. Okay? Because
Oh, infinite. Thank you. Yes.
okay, because what happens is for something to move, it has to leave the place where it is and must go to the place where it is not.
Yeah.
Okay. So if Brahman is all pervading, how can he go from one place to another place?
Mhm.
Wherever he needs to be there, he is already there. He or he.
Mhm.
Okay. So that is why Brahman is called Achala. Okay, so that means what? He is beyond space or it is beyond space. So this shloka is talking about the nature of self being Desha Kala Vastu Parichinna. So that sub aspect is described in here as Sanatanaha. Okay, no, it starts with sorry, Nityaha, Sarvagataha, Sthanuhu, Achalaha, Sanatanaha. So these are the five words that are used to describe the nature of self, which is talking about Sat aspect, okay? And Chit and Ananda aspects are not described here, again, because they will come later on somewhere else. Okay.
What is the difference, real difference between Sthanuhu and Achalaha? Now, Achalaha, like you say, is something that's immovable. It's essentially because it's all pervasive.
Thanu means no change.
Oh, sthir, it says steady. Oh,
Sthira. Okay, no
oh,
change.
oh, sthira means no change. Okay.
One word.
Sometimes what happens is that they can be like in colloquial language, they can be like what is the term? Replace with each other.
We forgot the indestructible.
Sorry?
We did not cover indestructible. It is all pervading, indestructible.
Indestructible, we have said Nityaha is it is so if both Sthanu and Nitya, they both are saying that it is going to be as is and it will be beyond time. So it cannot be destroyed automatically. It has no death.
Right.
Okay. Because
And
death
he-
is
in
destruction.
everything and everything is in me.
Yes.
That's the question, right?
But what it is doing, that what Bhagwan is doing is that he is actually giving, see, the verses from 11, okay, so even the Bhagavad Gita is 18 chapters, and second chapter itself has 72 verses. Specifically, verses from 11 to 30 covers the nature of self. And in this, each word in each verse is very, very important, and they come with such a power-packed punch. Okay, that I'm not saying like this, the subsequent chapters are not important, but these are, they are of a completely of different level. Okay, so in fact, our Swamiji said this. Okay. You know, when someone dies, Yama meets him. Okay. Yamaraj meets us when we die, right?
Mhm.
He receives them, takes them.
So in order to ensure that Yama doesn't meet me, I should die before Yama comes.
That is the Mrityunjaya. You have to be beyond death. You have to not be afraid of dying, right?
So yeah, so that means that put an end to the jivatva, the concept, the jiva before the end of this life. Work for it. That's what he said here. It is a tall order, but that's what.
Jivan Mukti.
Yes, get to the Jivan Mukti right now, right in this life itself. So
Oh yeah, it's a long, tall order.
it's a tall order, yes.
We are still fighting with the ego and our egocentric desires. So we cannot.
Yes, that's
Huh?
correct. Very correct.
Or we are fighting.
Oh, very good.
So any question? So we can conclude here. We will take up.
This was very easy. It was much easier. I mean, these three shlokas were much more to the point. And I think it became more clearer. Thank you. I think we can wrap it up.
Sure, yeah. So any questions before we wrap up?
And I don't have any question.
Good clarification, Venkat.
Yeah, I'm just going through the notes that Swamiji gave. I thought like they're so nice. So even though you guys already covered up to verses 40 or something, I thought this is something very interesting, and
Yes.
yeah.
Very interesting. Please continue this with the same format and
Yeah. Okay. So now question is right, or another question is 2 weeks from now, it would be 28th, December 28th. Shall we meet on 28th?
So
I think we should meet after the first of the year. I don't know if there are some people who may have some vacation plans. I don't know. I'm just saying.
Okay. So,
Yeah.
so
The Christmas, yeah,
shall we meet 3 weeks from
We
now?
are available
Well,
on 28th.
we are available on 28th.
If everybody wants.
If everybody wants, I mean, we are available because the new year begins after that. 29th, 30th, 31st, and 1st would be the
first is a Monday. Christmas is Monday, for New Year is Monday.
Yeah.
So the Christmas is on 25th, and then 28th is not a bad day actually to meet if people don't have any plans. We are available, so people can.
I'm available. 28th, I should be here.
How would you, Chandy? Are you available?
I'm not sure. I may or may not be, but
Okay. How about this?
but we sent a little message to all the
Yeah,
people.
so we will send a note saying that our next session will be on 28th. If someone says that they cannot make it on 28th, we will do the week after that.
Very good. That is a good. Okay.
Okay.
We'll close with a closing prayer. Om.
Mother, Vedam, Purnat, Purnamud,
पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ॐ. Thanks everyone, and looking forward to seeing you all on 28th. If we decide to meet on 4th, then Happy New Year to all of you.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody. Hari Om.
Hari
Happy
Om,
New
Hari
Year.
Om,
Happy
Chaji,
New
Hari
Year
Om.
to you too.
Thank you.
Hari Om,
Thank
Shahbazi.
you all. Nice.
Hari Om.
Okay, good night.
Nice class. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Excellent class. Excellent.
So,